All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh. By Shemi, I will shout that's all praise to the Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world innocently calls Jesus Christ. Right. So today's topic is Galatians 3:28. Does that mean the Gentiles can be saved? Long story short, no, it doesn't mean the Gentiles could be saved. What was Paul actually talking about? We're gonna break it down through the Spirit. All right. Give me a second. Trying to get this thumbnail together. Right, so Salaki. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and just bring out, Galatians 3:28, because it's a big misconception in Christianity. They don't understand Paul's writings at all, right? Just like the apostle said, and was that First Peter 3:16, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead and read that first. Salaki. First Peter 3. This is the book of First Peter chapter 3, verse number 15. But sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always. So like that ain't what I want. Where is it? Second Peter 3. Oh, here we go. Salaki. This is Second Peter chapter 3, verse number 15. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. Right? So even the apostle said that Paul's writings are hard to be understood. So you can't expect a so-called Christian to understand Paul's writings, right? Because we're gonna read Galatians 3:28. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there's neither male nor female. Now, why is Paul saying this? Why is he saying there is neither Jew nor Greek? Because you had something called the Greek captivity that the Israelites went into in 332 BC, right? You also had a man by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth that ruled the Jews, right? Brother Lahab in the building. So, you know, why is Paul saying this? Because you had, a man by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes. You go to First Maccabees 1:10. You had a man by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth that ruled the Jews 175 BC to 164 BC. Now, under Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth, it was unlawful for a man to profess himself at all to be a Jew, or he'd get put to death. And you read about the Greek captivity in the book of Maccabees, in the Apocrypha that was took out by the Protestant church, right? You bring out First Maccabees 1:10.
All right, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root.
Right? Talking about Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth, right? Read.
Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king who had been in hostage at Rome.
Right? Read.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
The kingdom of the Greeks, right? So this man was ruling over, he was ruling over the Jews, right? Go to Second Maccabees 6:6.
All right, this is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days,
Right? So as a Jew, we couldn't even keep Sabbath days under the Greek captivity, right? Read on.
or ancient feasts,
Right? No feast at all, like the Passover, Feast of Dedication, the Feast of First Fruits,
right,
none of that, right? Read.
or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right? So it was unlawful to profess yourself at all to be a Jew. So you can't call yourself a Jew. What you gonna call yourself if you're living under the Greeks? You're gonna call yourself a Greek. And we can show you in the Bible where the Israelites was called Greeks, right? We gonna finish that out. But no, I think that's it actually. We'll go to Acts. Acts 6:1. Can you pull out your phone? Go to Blue Letter for me. Sure. Blue Letter. Acts 6:1 in the Blue Letter. All right, so I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna show y'all Israelites being called Greeks. Right. This is the book of Acts, chapter 6, verse number 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians. That's another word for Greeks, right? So like there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews. Now most people say, oh, these are Greeks fighting Israelites, right? But in all actuality and reality, this is Israelites fighting Israelites. Right now, Acts 6:1, we're gonna go into the Greek for this word Grecians, right? I'm gonna finish this verse out first. Because their windows were neglected in the daily ministration, right?
It's taking
You there?
a load.
Salaki. Hold on, let me go to it on my phone.
Keeps getting stuck right there.
All right, so this is Acts 6:1 in the Blue Letter Bible. We're gonna go uh into the word for Grecians, right? To the word.
Yeah, Slocky on that. Just keeps getting stuck.
All right, this is the word for Grecians.
Okay, now I pulled up.
It's good. I got it. This is the word for Grecians. What is it? Strong's G1674. No, 1675. Salaki. The word for Grecian is Hellenistics, right? Or Hellenistes, however you want to say it. The outline of biblical usage, a Hellenistic, one who imitates the manner and customs or the worship of the Greeks and use Greek tongue used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek. Right. So that's why Paul said there's neither Jew nor Greek. Because under the Greek captivity, you had Israelites or Jews that didn't know there was Jews. They thought it was Greeks. Right? Because they was born in that lifestyle. Just like us over here in America. Right? Most of our people, they don't know that they're Israelites. They think they're Americans. They think they're African American, a continent and a white man, right? American best music. But we're gonna can you go to First Corinthians for me?
Mm.
All right, so Acts 6:1. I'm gonna show y'all. All right, in the New Testament, Jews speaking Greek. That's the word for Hellenistic or Hellestine in Acts 6:1. Right? I mean Salakia, Grecians in Acts 6:1. So the Grecians versus the Hebrews, that was actual Jews fighting against other Jews. It was just Hellenized Jews fighting against Jews who knew who they were, right? You know, so that's a big cut on Galatians 3:28. That's why Paul said there's neither Jew nor Greek. You know, he was talking about Hellenized Israelites that was born in that society, taken after the Greeks.
Right.
And as we just read, Acts 1, this is proof. Now let's get this, 1 Corinthians 10, because for brothers who's not familiar, Corinth, that's a place in Greece, which is another word for Greek, right? Corinth is in Greece. Now read this. 1 Corinthians
This is the
10
book
and 1.
of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant.
Brethren, who's Paul's brethren? Let's hold that. Let's go to Romans 9 real quick. Because this is important to know dealing with Christians out here in the highways and byways. You got to know these things, right? Who is Paul's brethren? Read.
This is the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren.
Right. This is Paul's brethren. Read.
My kinsmen according to the flesh. Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Who are Israelites?
All right, so Paul's brethren are Israelites, right? But this is in Corinth. This is in Greece, right? He's calling these Greeks, right, his brethren. So we know they have to be Hellenized Jews, right? Read.
It's the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I will not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea.
Right? So who passed through? Paul just said their forefathers passed through the Red Sea with Moses. Who passed through? Salaki, read on.
And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
Right. So if their forefathers passed through the Red Sea with Moses, we know that they have to be Israelites, because that's when Moses was, deliberating the Israelites from the hands of Pharaoh in the Egyptian captivity. So now, let's go to 1 Corinthians 12.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
Salaki, before you bring that out, I'm going to read this, proving that, for brothers that don't know, that Moses deliberated the Israelites, through the Red Sea. Not everybody. Because, Christians like to tie in everybody to every little thing. All right, this is Exodus 14:21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, talking about the Red Sea. And the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were all Salakia. The waters were a wall unto them in their right hand and on their left. Right. So now go back to 1 Corinthians 10 real quick, then we're gonna go back to 1 Corinthians 12.
All right.
So we know that the Israelites passed through the Red Sea with Moses. Now read this again.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant.
All right, we know who Paul's brethren is according to Romans 9:3. Read.
how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea.
right? We just read to you in Numbers 14 that the Israelites passed through the sea with Moses. So Paul's saying that their forefathers are Israelites. Right now, we go to chapter 12, verse number 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
Right?
Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
Right? Paul just said, Salaki, Paul just said to these people in Greece, right, in Corinth, ye know in time past that ye were Gentiles, right? Because they took after the mannerisms of the Gentiles, right? Read.
Carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led.
Right. So, if as an Israelite, if you're, living after the other nations, you're going to be referred to as a Gentile. Like most of our people in America, they would be considered Gentiles, because they living in that Gentile state of mind. They don't know they're Israelites, right? They just think they're African Americans,
Or black.
Right. So, that's really basic how to cut Galatians 3 and 28.
You didn't go through John 3:16 yet, did you?
Now, I was going to do that separate video, but we might as well touch John 3:16, right? John 3:16. I'm going to end this one and I'm going to start another one, right? So, with that, we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Hashem Shah. We want to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And hopefully, brothers and sisters was edified, right?